claims on Cuyahoga River in Ohio? Where is Ohio?
USA.
USA, right? Okay. Coming back. So watershed movement. What is more watershed movement? I told you yesterday that watershed movement is something from where the sudden changes begin. So the sudden changes in our environment conservation in the modern world begin with this Stockholm summit. Where is this Stockholm? I'm improving your geography, right? Can anyone tell me about Stockholm?
Sweden.
Aditi, sorry sir, it was my microphone.
Sweden.
Okay, Aditi, now do not make any noise. Sweden.
The capital city
Okay,
of
the
Sweden.
capital of Sweden, right? Sweden. So Sweden is a Norwegian country. The Scandinavian country is there. Okay. So the capital of Sweden is Stockholm. So the summit was held there. The world leaders they committed to reverse their efforts and start the conservation of the global environment. And this UN conference on human environment was set up. This conference was set up in 1972 in Sweden. And from there, the efforts were made in consistent manner. From this 1972 summit, then the efforts were made in consistent manner. There were theories like limits to growth that we can develop up to a particular extent only. There were several other efforts like this Brundtland Commission report. The title of this report was Our Common Future. And it is asked very often in UPSC that what is sustainable development, who gave this term. This Brundtland Commission report gave this term. Okay, you can write it somewhere. Brundtland Commission report gave that this sustainable development term. So this report was published in 1987, right? This report was published in 1987. And the title of this report was Our Common Future. What we are going to give to our future generations, or how our future generations going to survive on Earth. What resources they would get as a gift from us. Okay. हम क्या छोड़ेंगे? What we will leave for them. Okay. With sustainable development. So what the term means? The term means that we develop in a manner so that the present generation can fulfill its all needs. The present generation can fulfill its all needs in a better manner, okay, in a limited manner, and we can leave enough resources for the future generation. We can leave enough resources for the future generation to fulfill their needs as well. Okay. So this concept says that the resources we are using today is not ours, but we have borrowed them. We have borrowed them from the future generation. Okay, you can write a definition of sustainable development, right? Sustainable development is the concept of using resources in a sustainable manner so that the needs of the present generation can be fulfilled. Okay, is my speed okay?
Can you repeat?
Okay, I can repeat. Sustainable development is the method of using resources. Is the method of using resources so that the needs of present generation, can be fulfilled without compromising with the needs of future generation. Okay, everyone got it?
Sir, can be fulfilled?
Yeah.
Can be
the needs of present generation can be fulfilled without compromising the needs of future generation. Without compromising with the needs of future generation, right? Okay, Manju?
Yes, sir.
Got it? So did you understand what I said?
Yes, sir.
Everyone understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So what it is that we should use the resources in such a manner that our needs get fulfilled and there is enough resources so that the coming future generations can fulfill their needs. Let me give you an example. So earlier there was lumbering industry. You know what is lumbering is? Lumbering industry was there. Even it is there in, today. What is lumbering industries? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Lumbering is wood cutting industry. The industry where plants or trees are cut for the purpose of extracting wood resources. Okay. Got it? So this industry is a very large industry in northern parts of the world. If someone know about the, do you know about the northern horizon? The countries in boreal forest, countries having boreal forest like the north of Northern America, Canada. So, suppose this, let me draw the world map here. So this is the world map, okay, and this is North America, then this is Europe, right, then this is Russia, okay, then we have there Russia. So this northern region on the earth, here the lumbering industry is thriving at these places because we have boreal forest. I'll tell you, boreal forest, they are temperate climate forest. Temperate मैंने बताया था कल. I told you yesterday, temperate is a cool climate region between 23 and a 66-degree half north region, or in south as well. So these temperate boreal forests have stands of trees with common species, large stands of trees with common species, and these are extracted for wooden resources. So this lumbering industry was thriving in the early 20th century. And what they did, they cut they did so much deforestation that it led to, it was beyond the capacity of regeneration of these areas. Though it was regenerating, but at some places it was beyond the capacity of regeneration. And this led to crisis. You can say the pollution was increased, or rainfall disturbance, etc. So the climate change, in absolute terms, the climate change was witnessed in these areas. So I was so what happened? So it was this was done beyond against the concept of sustainable development. This was against the concept of sustainable development. When these countries realized the practice of lumbering is going against their interest, so they did what they did. They slowed down their rate of extraction. They slowed down their rate of lumbering. Okay. So this example is only to tell you that if you are extracting beyond the capacity to regenerate of Earth, so if you are extracting resources beyond the capacity of Earth to regenerate, it would lead to unsustainable development. Sustainable when it is with the regeneration capacity of Earth, and unsustainable when it is beyond the regeneration capacity of Earth. Okay, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me give you another example. Has anyone heard about Savannah region in the world? Savannah grasslands. Actually, grassland. What are the grassland in Africa? Anyone?
Large areas with
very low tree canopies. Okay, with very low tree canopies and mostly covered with plants less than 2 meters. Okay, grasslands, large area with very less density of tree canopies and largely covered with plants of less than 2 meter height. Okay, so in Africa, this middle part is called savanna region. And how these savanna grassland form? It is believed that earlier there were trees in this region, and due to over anthropogenic interference. What is anthropogenic interference?
Man interference.
Interference by human. So due to over human interference, these trees or these forests caught fire and converted into grassland. Due to both the natural and anthropogenic. Natural is by nature, and anthropogenic is by man. So both of these interference led to conversion of forests into grassland in Africa. And same is the belief behind the Amazon rainforest, the peripheries of Amazon rainforest. Okay. Now moving ahead. So we have discussed a lot in this sustainable development, and I have given you a definition, right? One more important thing. Have you heard about this SDG concept? SDG, Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes.
Might have heard about it.
Yes.
Okay, Amit. Then what it is? Actually, these are. Can anyone explain something about it?
Uh,
How many goals? By which organization? In what direction? Anyone?
It was
Yeah, try.
set up.
Can be,
It
you
was
can be
set up
wrong.
in
Don't worry.
2015
Okay.
by United Nations General Assembly, and they want to achieve better and more sustainable future by 2030.
Right. Earlier we had MDGs, Millennium Development Goals. So most of those these goals are for sustainable future. Most of these goals they are having good MMR, social, better social features like MMR, mother mortality can be reduced, poverty can be reduced, we can obtain good health. So these kind of things are targeted under these SDGs. So there are 17 such goals. Actually, there are 169 such goals, and they are clubbed under these 17 targets. Right? They are clubbed under these 17 targets, and they are financed and worked out by World Bank. Which organization? World Bank. World Bank is the body which is seeking these goals. Okay, they are financing the projects under these goals, and these well said. I don't know who gave me the answer. Okay, Palak. So well said. It is goals up to 2030 and started in 2015. So sustainable development goals. One thing you have to do tomorrow as a homework. Tell me the first 3 goals. Okay, out of these 17, tell me the first 3 goals. What are the first 3 SDGs? Because they are important. If you are giving UPSC, even in the mains, you have to mention them in many of the answers, especially in the social and environmental section. Because this gives you, this increases the value of your answer, okay? And in pre, you can have question that which body has made these goals, how many they are in number. Even there can be specific question like what is SDG 11 related to? What is SDG? Okay, you might not know it. SDG 11 is related to sustainable cities, developing sustainable cities. Okay, developing sustainable cities. Okay, cities. Speak clearly.
So the 3 goals I'm not very sure, but they are most probably I think poverty, health, and population.
Yeah. I will ask all of them tomorrow. Okay. The first one is related to poverty and hunger. The second one is related to this population and women thing, and the third one is related to health. Okay. Now I have explained it. Okay, you have to. Okay, tell me about fourth, fifth, and sixth. Fourth, fifth, and sixth goal tomorrow. Okay. Because I have explained the first, second, and third now. So I'll ask you fourth, fifth, and sixth tomorrow. Don't worry, it's just a homework. You have to remember them, just nothing else. Okay, now moving ahead. So what happened after the 1987 thing, the Brundtland Commission report? In 1992, the world leaders came again. They came again to hold a conference in Rio de Janeiro, right? Where the Rio de Janeiro is?
Brazil.
Brazil.
What's the capital of Brazil?
Brasilia.
Brasilia. Right. Okay, so this Rio Earth Summit, here we have this South America, and here we have Rio de Janeiro on the coast. This is a coastal study. Okay. So Earth Summit was held in this Rio de Janeiro. This was first Earth Summit held in 1992, and it was the first such event under United Nations Conference. United Nations Conference, actually it was a treaty which later came to be known as United. It was an organization earlier which signed this treaty, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Earlier it was a private organization by some business tycoon in Canada, but later it converted it to a UN body, and this treaty came under UN. And this treaty was put to signature, put open for signature. So nothing is important except what it is written here. In 1992, first Earth Summit was held in Rio de Janeiro, and the treaty of UNFCCC came into existence. Okay? Okay, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Then in 1992 itself, William Rees, a man, coined the term ecological footprint. So the man is not important here. The thing important is ecological footprint. So can anyone tell me about this ecological footprint? Ecological footprint. Have you heard it somewhere? Anytime?
No.
Okay. So okay, let me explain you. So the suppose this is the entire life cycle, which can be of a person or a product. So the natural resources or the natural capital consumed, the natural resources or natural capital consumed, natural capital consumed by a person or a product in its life cycle is its ecological footprint. Okay. Okay. Should I define it again?
Sir,
Sir,
repeat
can you
it.
explain once more?
Ecological footprint. Okay, I'm defining it. Write it. Okay, write the definition. So ecological footprint is the sum total of all the natural resources. It's the sum total of all the natural resources or natural capital consumed during the life cycle okay, consumed during the life cycle by a person or a product, right? Has everyone written it?
Consumed during the life cycle
Of a product, of a person or a product, of a person or a product. So ecological footprint can be of a person or it can be of a product. For example, if we are using, suppose I'm writing from this pen. So how in manufacturing of this pen, how many natural resources have been utilized? For example, petroleum. Petroleum was used for making plastic, and plastic was used for making this pen. Okay. So how many such natural resources were utilized, and then which led to the what amount of emissions? All this is included, and this forms this. Actually, this ecological footprint is a large concept, and a subset of this is CO2 footprint, carbon dioxide footprint, carbon footprint. Okay, so simple word is this word is actually carbon footprint. What is carbon footprint?
They are used for finding the age of.
No. That is carbon dating. That is
Release of carbon by
release making some.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, Dishank, Harsh, whoever is telling me. Okay, good. Actually, carbon footprint is the amount of carbon dioxide emissions. You can write it. You can write this definition as well. Carbon footprint is the amount of carbon dioxide emissions in tons of CO2, measured in tons of CO2. Carbon dioxide is the amount of CO2 emissions occurred during the formation of a product. Okay. Amount of carbon emissions that took place during the formation of a product. It even includes even the carbon footprint is for the whole life cycle. from the formation till the disposal. Even the disposal emissions are included. So, and the measuring unit is tons of CO2. It is written as this, like TCO2, tons of CO2. It is measured in this unit, tons of CO2, right? Tons of CO2. I'm not very good with this pen. Okay. So I've explained you this ecological footprint, this Earth summit part. Now moving ahead. And this then in 1997, actually this UNFCCC, what was this UNFCCC? United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It's a kind of, it was agreement, as I told you earlier, it was put open in 1992, right? Right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
I told you that it was open to, yeah. Are there?
No, I said yes. I agree.
Okay, please ask clearly.
No, I just agreed, sir. I didn't ask anything. I agree.
Then we were on Kyoto Protocol. So we were discussing this UNFCCC first. So this UNFCCC treaty was open to signature in 1992, and later it was amended. And the basic agenda of this treaty was to reduce the emissions. The basic agenda was to reduce the emissions. Greenhouse gas emissions were to be reduced, so that to reduce the pollution caused by these gases. Okay, this was the main thing behind this UNFCCC agenda, and this finally culminated into Kyoto Protocol. The Kyoto Protocol was first kind of such binding protocol. Actually, it was a binding protocol. What is a binding protocol? Where every partner or every member is forced or is bound to follow the, or is to contribute something towards the cause. Okay, they are forced or bound. They are bound to contribute something towards the cause. Here the cause or the target was reducing GHGs, the greenhouse gases. Okay, everyone.
So please repeat.
Yeah. Manju, are you saying
Kyoto
something?
Protocol is binding protocol.
Yeah, it's a binding protocol, and that's why US didn't join it. Was the reason behind US didn't ratify this project. In 2001, the US said that we are not ratifying this project because they were indulged in that economy. I told you this economy versus environment debate that we are developing, and these kind of project, economy versus environment debate. So they said that we are developing, we are increasing our economy, and if we focus on environment, we might reduce our rate of development. Our economic growth may slow down. You will come across this economy versus environment debate many a times. Even today, we are doing the same thing. After, in the wake of this COVID-19 crisis, people are saying that the environmental conservation efforts would go on the back seat now, because economic development is the front seat thing. It's the part which is we are focusing on more. Okay. So coming to back to this Kyoto Protocol, it's a binding protocol, and this it came as an amendment to this UNFCCC. And the countries, those countries who ratified this protocol, they committed to what they were committed to. What they were committed to? They were committed to
reducing of greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah. Reducing the emissions of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases. Okay. So this Kyoto Protocol is all about reduction of greenhouse gases in the environment. Okay. Also, one more homework I'm giving you. Name 6 greenhouse gases. I'm telling you there are 6. I will ask you tomorrow what they are. Okay. Okay, now coming back. So reduce their emissions of carbon dioxide, and CO2 is one of the greenhouse gases. It is written here. And 5 other greenhouse gases. Okay. Okay. So let me tell you something about the provisions of this Kyoto Protocol. This Kyoto Protocol was binding, and it was said that out of the members who joined, who ratified, or who joined, or who came as the party to the conference, if though out of those members, if 55% of the member ratify this protocol, then only this protocol will come into effect. Okay, those who came to attend this Kyoto Protocol conference, out of those members, 55% of countries, if they ratify the protocol, then only it will come into effect. And the second provision was, it was also about 55%. It was also about this 55% thing. It said that the effective reduction in emission of greenhouse gases. You can write this about Kyoto Protocol, okay? Because these 55% things have been asked in the UPSC questions. So this Kyoto first thing was the 55% members. 55% members should ratify the protocol. And second thing is 55% reduction. 55% reduction. The effective reduction in greenhouse gases should be 55% of the pre-industrial levels, 1970s. 1970s is taken as a baseline, okay, a reference point. So if there is 50% of effective, those countries joining have effective emission of 55%, then only this Kyoto Protocol will come into effect. What happened? That USA refused. In 2001, USA rejected the Kyoto Protocol. I've told you about this. They said that we are improving, we are focused on our economic growth, and we will slow down if we go towards this environment thing. If they go towards this environment thing, they might slow down, and they are focusing on economic development, because their main motto was to become the economic superpower. They were the economic superpower, but to maintain that status. Okay. Then in 2002, the second Earth Summit was held. Okay. It was the same UNFCCC summit under United Nations Conference. It's an umbrella organization. Under today, most of the such summits and conferences are held. It is an umbrella organization. Okay. So second Earth Summit was held. Earth Summit was held in Johannesburg. Where is Johannesburg? Where is Johannesburg?
South Africa.
In South Africa, right? Can anyone tell me about the capital of South Africa?
It's Johannesburg.
Okay. Anyone else?
There are three capitals of South Africa.
There are three capitals of South Africa, right?
Cape Town.
One
Cape
is
Town.
Johannesburg, Cape Town.
Johannesburg, Cape Town, and the third one is? Anyone? Bloemfontein. Bloemfontein is the third capital. They have divided the administrative, judicial, and one other function. They have the distributed functions. Okay, these capitals have distributed functions. Okay, coming ahead, then Kyoto Protocol came into force in 2005. Why? Because from 1997, most of the major countries which were major emitters of the greenhouse gases, like US, they refused to join. So it gets delayed. It got delayed. And finally, when Russia, one of the major emitter, ratified this Kyoto Protocol in 2005, it came into effect. In 2005, when Russia ratified the protocol, actually there were other countries, but they the figure of 55% target was not met. This 55% target was not met. So when Russia signed this protocol, this target was achieved, and this Kyoto Protocol came into force. And now today, what is Paris Agreement? Finally, we today have Paris Agreement. What it is? What are the goals in this Paris Agreement? Paris is capital of?
France.
Okay. You might have heard about it. Okay, in 2015 there was a lot of lot of noise about this Paris Agreement. It was lot in news. Even today it is not in news. Not today, but in general scenario. Okay, let me tell you. So the Paris Agreement is one of the recent environmental conservation agreement in which we are moving ahead of the Kyoto Protocol. We are moving ahead of the Kyoto Protocol to further reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. To further reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. You can see this picture. Many of the important world leaders joined this summit. They came to resolve the climate woes in Paris. Okay, what are woes? Woes are the problems. Okay, they came to Paris to solve their climate woes. And the success of Montreal Protocol. Can anyone tell me about Montreal Protocol? Montreal Protocol. Actually, Montreal Protocol is related to ozone. You can write it somewhere. It's also an important protocol. Montreal Protocol is related to ozone. In this protocol, it was decided that we will try to redevelop the ozone layer. Okay, we know that there's an ozone hole in the stratosphere, and this Montreal Protocol was also kind of binding protocol in which the emissions of... Is there some disturbance? Okay. This Montreal Protocol said that we will reduce the emission of ODP, ozone depleting substances. Those substances which deplete the ozone layer in stratosphere. It was decided in this Montreal Protocol. Okay, even this has been asked in UPSC. So recently we saw a success of this Montreal Protocol. What happened? Recently we saw the recovery of that ozone hole, right? Okay. It was in news. Okay. Is everyone getting here?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, please, can you repeat the Montreal Protocol, the last line you said?
The last line, okay, the
What
Montreal
you have
Protocol.
drawn here?
I have drawn, actually the Montreal Protocol is another different protocol. I am talking about its success. It's a success story of world binding agreement. Okay. So it's a success story in environmental arena. Montreal Protocol was signed to reduce, you can write, okay, Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol is related to an agreement signed, for reducing the emission of ODS, ozone depleting substances.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
ODS, ozone depleting substances. Examples, CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, they are used in refrigeration. Okay. So basically chlorine was the main culprit which destroyed this ozone layer, and you might all have heard about it. It's a very famous question. What happens when there's an ozone hole? UV light enters straightly into the earth, and which can cause skin damages. Okay, you all might know it. We'll discuss this also when we come to Montreal Protocol in detail. Okay. So this the success of this Montreal Protocol brought leaders to Paris Agreement that we can do it again. Success can be achieved again in terms of actually this Paris Agreement is related to reducing or maintaining the temperature rise. It is related to temperature rise. Maintaining the temperature rise of Earth below 2 degrees centigrade in 21st century. The temperature rise should be maintained below 2 degrees centigrade in 21st century. Okay. So this was Paris Agreement all about. That we should reduce our emissions to such an extent that the entire 21st century, from this up to 2100, up to year 2100. Okay. So in this entire 21st century, there is rise of temperature which is below 2 degrees centigrade. The effective temperature increase should be less than 2 degrees centigrade. And they would seek to maintain it below their degree centigrade if possible. It is one another target in the same. So first they said that the target is to keep it below 2 degrees centigrade, but they would make efforts to take it to 1.5 degrees centigrade. That the rise should be below less than equal to 1.5 degrees centigrade. The rise should be less than equal to 1.5 degrees centigrade. This was the Paris Agreement. Okay. Am I clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can ask me anything. You can ask me. Okay. So, okay, Arya. So I think with this, I complete my background thing, introduction thing in environment. I have explained you actually why I have taken this timeline, the events of this timeline I have taken to give you a glimpse how it started, and now today we are where we are on the Paris Agreement and is making the deal for post 2020 scenario. What will happen after 2020? So we are making the deal under this Paris Agreement to improve our conservation efforts, reduce emission in the post 2020 scenario. And most of these things will come in detail in later part, okay, in later lectures. But this is the main part. This timeline actually is very important. These events I have told you, these watershed moments, they are very important because a large part of questions come from this. The only thing is that you have to deal them in detail. Okay. And also, write important things in your copy. Write important things on your copy, and these summits, some of these summits which I am explaining you in detail, I'm making a lot of effort. Okay, so like these Paris Agreement, these Montreal Protocol, Earth Summit, or that Kyoto Protocol, please Google them. Please Google them to get a better idea of them. Okay, don't run behind everything. Just Google them to get an idea. Okay, what has happened and what next is to be happened. Okay. Okay, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm taking a 1 minute break because this first slide of mine is over now. Okay. So after a break of 1 or 2 minutes, I will upload my next slide and I'll come back. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, everyone. Shall we begin now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the new topic I'm going to start, the basics of environment. Okay, the basics of environment. Here what we are going to do, we are going to discuss the concepts, the terminologies in environment. It will give you a foundation on which you will get understanding of future lectures. Okay, it will give you a foundation. So let's begin. So the first thing is environment itself, and the definition I have given you earlier: the interrelationship between the living organism and their surrounding. Okay, environment is the interrelationship. And is anyone writing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
environment is the interrelationship between living organism among themselves and with their surrounding. Between living organism among themselves and with their surroundings. Okay. Okay, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Shall I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
So types of environment. So here, this also I gave you a glimpse of that there are three types of environment: physical environment, then this biotic environment of living beings, and this social. So social was all about the society created by humans. Okay, the socio-cultural aspects of human life. The main thing is this physical environment and this biotic environment. This is formed of abiotic or non-living things. Okay. And this biotic is of all about biotic or living organism or among them, dealing among themselves. Living parts of earth. Okay. Okay. Now we'll start with this physical environment part. So what I'm going to do here is I've distributed this physical environment further into three parts: this atmosphere, lithosphere, and this hydrosphere. Okay. So give me the definition of atmosphere. Okay, in your words only. What's atmosphere?
Air,
Blanket
part
of
of
air.
the earth.
We're now unmuted.
The blanket of air surrounding the Earth face is called atmosphere.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Has given that answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Of Earth surrounding Earth. So blanket of air. Okay.
Surrounding the Earth. Sir. Yes, sir.
The blanket of air surrounding Earth.
So your voice is
So your
echoing.
voice is echoing.
Is it okay now? I
Yes,
think
sir.
Yes, sir.
okay. So the blanket of air surrounding the Earth is the atmosphere, and the atmosphere is composed of various layers. Okay, and the main constituent is air. Air is a mixture of gases. Okay, the definition of air is it's a mixture of gases. It's the very simplest form of definition: mixture of gases. Okay, so what gases comprise the atmosphere? So the biggest contribution comes from nitrogen. The nitrogen forms around 78% of the air. Okay, air around us consists of 78% of nitrogen. Then the second biggest contribution comes from oxygen, right, which is around 21%. Okay. Okay, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then argon forms 0.93%. Then CO2 forms 0.03%. So let me tell you a fact about CO2. In 1970s, the pre-industrial era, I've told you about that. In pre-industrial era, we had this 0.3%. Okay, so this 0.3% forms around 300 parts per million. 300 parts per million. Okay, so the CO2 concentration was 300 parts per million in the last century, in the pre-industrial era, 1970s or 60s. But after the industrial revolution gained the pace in these developing countries in Asia as well, so the contribution from West and from this East in the entire world rise, okay, caught up. And now, as per the IPCC report, IPCC is intergovernmental. Actually, it's a body which gives reports on climate change. Okay, I'll explain you about IPCC later. Okay, so it gives assessment. 6th assessment was the recent one. So IPCC in its 5th report, it said that Earth's CO2 concentration has increased to 400 parts per million. And this increase in CO2 is because of rising emissions. Okay, because of rising emissions. And do anyone of you know about greenhouse effect? This greenhouse effect.
You are now unmuted.
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
So rapid increase in the greenhouse gases on Earth. The rapid increase in the temperature of Earth due to greenhouse effect.
Basically, carbon dioxide
Radiations.
trap the heat present so that it doesn't keep on increasing. This is called greenhouse.
Okay, let me tell you. So greenhouse effect is, it's a property seen in glass, and same peculiar property is replicated by CO2 in Earth. Okay, so what happens when the sun's rays enter the Earth? This CO2 here in the Earth's atmosphere absorbs these radiations. Okay, these greenhouse gases and CO2 absorb these radiations, and this absorption increases the temperature of Earth. Okay, this absorption of heat or solar radiations by CO2 and other greenhouse gases increases the temperature of Earth. Right? Am I clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this greenhouse effect is used for farming in polar regions or in colder regions. Okay. Okay. You might have seen that there are tents, glass houses, and in these glass houses, farming is done in different layers. It is because outside temperature is very high, but this glass causes increase in temperature and makes farming suitable. Now, Reem, are you speaking something?
No, sir.
There's a voice. Okay. Someone is speaking somewhere. Okay. So coming back, so I've told you about this greenhouse effect, how the CO2, with the increase of CO2, increase in temperature of Earth has been seen. Okay. And this increase in temperature, in simple words, is called global warming. Okay. This increase in temperature of Earth due to these greenhouse gases is called global warming. If you want, you can write the definition of global warming. Okay. Global warming is the increase in temperature of Earth. Global warming is the increase in temperature of Earth due to absorption of solar radiations. Due to absorption of solar radiations by greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Okay. And this global warming has repercussions. What are those repercussions? Increasing temperature, melting of ice, okay. Melting of ice or glaciers, that's the same thing. Okay, melting of glaciers. Then this melting of glacier, what it causes? It causes rising sea level. Okay, sea level rising.
And submerging of coastal areas.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, I think we have done with this atmosphere. Okay, tell me about the issues of atmosphere now. Issues of atmosphere.
Air pollution.
You are now unmuted.
Air pollution.
Sir, ozone depletion.
Yeah, ozone depletion is basically the stratosphere. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, it's a part of atmosphere. Basically, we consider troposphere in general. Okay, ODP is definitely a one thing. Okay, ozone depletion. Then we have air pollution,
Acid rain.
acid rain. Okay. 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 Then this, okay. Now moving ahead. So what are the solutions? Now in everything is in news. Okay. And if you are reading a bit only, then you might be knowing what the steps have been taken by the government, especially for this air pollution thing, because air pollution is a very wide term. So I haven't told you other solutions because this term is a very wide thing. Okay. So what this steps have been taken by the government?
Electrical vehicles.
Utilization of
Electrical vehicles,
e-waste
right?
and personal motor vehicles.
Then planting
Yeah.
of more and more trees.
The more trees, afforestation. The exact word is afforestation.
Deforestation.
Okay. Afforestation. Then EV. Then
Solar farming.
yeah,
Solar farming.
solar farming. Okay. So EVs, afforestation,
So using solar energy for electricity and generations.
the better word is renewable. Okay. Renewable, which consists of all solar, wind, hydro, tidal. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I've given you 2 or 3 homeworks for tomorrow. The one is 4th, 5th, and 6th SDGs. The other one is, what was the other one?
Greenhouse gases.
Yeah, remembering the greenhouse gases. Name of those 5 greenhouse gases other than CO2.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And tomorrow, one more thing. 3 things I'm giving you. The third thing is contribution of power generation by renewable sources in India's total power generation. Contribution or share of renewables in India's total power generation. Okay.
Sir, repeat again, sir.
Share of renewable energy, share of percent, actually it's a percentage. Okay, so share of renewable energy, in India's total power generation. And you have to tell me specifically that what's the share of solar, what's the share of wind, what's the share of hydro. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You might have heard about Riva solar plant, one of the largest solar plant in Asia. Recently,
Yes, sir.
solar plant in
okay. Where is Riva located? Some famous thing about Riva?
White tiger.
750 megawatt.
Yeah, white tiger. Definitely white tiger, and the tiger reserve in Riva. Okay. Okay. So I think we are done with this atmosphere part now. Now I'm moving on to this lithosphere part. So the lithosphere is the Arpit. I think that there is noise behind you. Okay. Please. Okay. Now coming to lithosphere. So the crystal component of Earth, with soil being the most important constituent. Actually, if this is the Earth and this is the crustal part, so this crustal part, which is like an wrapper of an apple, okay, this सेब का छिलका बोलते हैं. So it's the cover of an apple, the red part of an apple. Are you getting me? The thickness of crust is equivalent to the thickness of that red cover of an apple. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So this crustal part, it consists of loose particles, and these loose particles with the loose particles on crust, write it. The loose particles on crust with ability to support life. Loose particle on earth with ability to support life is called soil. The soil forms the important part, the important constituent of this lithosphere. Okay, I'll keep it short because we'll directly come to the issues of lithosphere. Okay, we can divide this lithosphere into different landforms like mountains, plains, plateau. Okay, so let us come directly to the issues because there is not much in this. Okay, what are the issues of lithosphere?
Pollution.
Issues of lithosphere.
Weathering
Soil
of soil.
pollution.
Soil pollution, right?
Overutilization of soil and with agriculture and
Over extraction of resources. Okay, like minerals. Okay, over extraction. Over extraction. Then
degradation of soil through
Degradation.
amount of
degradation
pesticides.
of soil, deforestation, desertification. Okay. Anything else?
Soil erosion.
Soil erosion, that's soil pollution. Okay, soil erosion is a different thing. Okay. Soil erosion. Okay, I think that's enough. Then steps taken. Can anyone tell me about steps taken? Huh?
Afforestation.
Yeah, afforestation and reforestation. Okay. Afforestation and reforestation. What is the difference between afforestation and reforestation? Afforestation is planting of. Huh?
The reforestation is rehabilitation of barren land.
Reforestation is the revival of existing degraded forest. Okay. It's about revival of existing but degraded forest. While afforestation is planting of new forest. Okay. So afforestation, reforestation, then treatment of soil, which is done. Okay. Soil treatment by biological and artificial methods. And
Sir, improving terrace farming and all to reduce soil erosion.
Reduces soil erosion.
Organic fertilizers.
Organic farming, organic zero budget farming or organic farming, which reduces the pollution, chemical pollution in soil. Good. Okay, I think that's enough for this lithosphere part because you have a lot to complete. Okay. Then now we can come to this hydrosphere part. So, what forms the hydrosphere? The hydrosphere is related to surface water. Okay, the surface water bodies like the rivers, oceans, lakes, ponds, etc. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, then what is this cryosphere?
Frozen part of Earth system.
Frozen.
Frozen part, water part of Earth
Frozen
system.
water.
Okay. Okay. So the layer which is formed of frozen water. Okay. The layer of Earth, the zone of Earth, which consists of frozen form of water. You can write it like this. The layer of Earth consists of frozen form of water or ice. In simple word, ice. The frozen form of water. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So where is this cryosphere located?
Sir, Arctic,
Arctic
Antarctica,
and Antarctic.
Arctic, Antarctic, even on the glaciers on
Himalayas,
Himalayas and other mountain ranges as well, like in Alps or in Rockies. Not in Rockies, but in the Andes. Okay. So the cryosphere is a zone where we find frozen form of water. So this is all about hydrosphere. Now we will come to issues of hydrosphere. What are the issues of hydrosphere?
So acid rain,
Acid rain, okay.
the loss of
warming,
habitat,
Pollution.
What?
Water pollution.
so loss of aquatic
Loss of
habitat due to
aquatic
acid rain.
habitat.
Loss of aquatic habitat due to Sakshi?
So due to acid rain.
Okay, due to acid rain.
And sir, water
Habitat.
pollution also.
And
What?
DOD.
Loss of habitat due to water pollution also.
DOD.
Eutrophication.
Yes, sir.
You might have heard this word, eutrophication.
Oil spills also.
What?
Oil spills.
Oil spills, yeah. Oil spill also.
So unplanned sewage system
Unplanned sewage disposal.
disposal in water bodies.
Okay. Untreated sewage disposal is a better word. Okay.
toxic waste,
Untreated sewage disposal. Okay. You are covering most of the things. Okay. Then I think we should move on to solutions. So what are the solutions?
So treatment of sewage emissions.
Okay. Sewage waste treatment.
Yes, sir.
Sewage waste treatment. Sewage waste
And sir,
treatment plants.
treatment of industrial waste also.
That's the same thing. Okay. Okay. What other steps? The zero budget farming, same thing, which can reduce the eutrophication problem. Okay. Organic farming, which can reduce the eutrophication problem. Then projects like Namami Gange.
Yes.
Okay. Namami Gange. Cleaning of rivers and other water bodies. Then
the reduction of
Plus-
air pollution,
okay, reduction of air, which will reduce the acid rain. Okay.
global warming.
Then global warming reduction. That is working on that Paris Agreement, so that temperature rise can be below 2 degrees centigrade. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What else? I think for water there are many solutions. That removal of plastics from ocean. There was a project recently for removal of plastic from oceans. What else? Use bioremediation. There is a method called bioremediation. Can anyone tell me what is this bioremediation? What is this bioremediation? Okay, you go and read it. What is bioremediation? Let me give you a hint. It is remediation of pollution-like problems using biological beings or the organisms. Rest, I am concluding here for today. We will continue in the next class. Any queries for today's class? Any question? Anything you didn't got?
No, sir.
Okay, Phil. Then thank you. I'm ending here. So,
Thank you, sir.
Guys, you're at 5:15 or your next class will start. Please click on the other link, okay?
We're now
Yes.
unmuted.